Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of BLEAV in Bills podcast. I am Justice General Radford. That is the coach, legend in 2 games, Coach Muki Hawkins in the building, of course. We here on a Sunday night. Big win for the Buffalo Bills. Another big win. Kind of riding the ship a little bit. Last week, we all said that it made us feel a little bit more comfortable about where the season is headed. I feel like this week maybe just reinforce that. How about you, Mookie? How you doing tonight, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. You know, the way the Bills played, I'm quite sure everybody in Bills La land is doing A-okay today.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who watched the game on all fronts, it was effective. It was efficient. It was good football all day. I think that anytime you look at your quarterback in Josh Allen, and he had an okay game, right? It wasn't like anything special, but the Bills were still able to be effective and efficient on offense and move the football even without Josh necessarily having to do everything today. He was 20 of 32 for 218, a tutty and an INT. Now, the tutty was an awesome pass, beautiful pass that 1% of quarterbacks in this league can make. The INT was basically him giving this guy a shot. Looking at it, I feel like Gabriel Davis could have done more in the air, but it's neither here nor there. Just looking at the game overall, let's start with the offensive side of the ball. 168 rushing yards for this offense, Coach. That is what you want to see from the ball. You've been saying it for the last 2 years. You know what I mean? You've been saying it since I started working with you. Run the football. And they're finally starting to do it.
Yeah, we all know that running solves all problems. And I hate to just keep saying it again, but running solves all problems. Josh Allen is a better quarterback when he is under center. And, it gives the defense the notion that, hey, this could be anything. This could be, 50-50 run. It could be 50-50 pass. When you look at this balance that this Bills offense have had in the past couple of weeks, you can easily look at how dominating this Buffalo Bills team is. When they have balance offensively, you see complementary football at its best in back-to-back weeks. And guess what? Complementary football has gotten better the past couple of weeks. When you look at, the balance of today, 168 rushing yards to 218 passing yards. Josh, he was over 60%, but again, the way the run game, was set up, you didn't know whether Josh was going to pull it out. And then when you look at all the play action passes, I want to know what was the percentage of Josh Allen when they did run action. I mean, it seemed like every time Josh, did run action, guys was really wide open. He knew where he wanted to go with the football, and a guy was literally wide open. So, just again, I'm very impressed on how Dorsey is able to make the right play calls to help Josh manage the offense more better than what he did week 1. So, shouts out to the coaching staff for the job well done. And we ain't even got onto the defensive side of it. But, again, James Cook, one more carry away from having a 100-yard game. Only in 15 carries. Remember how we said that 10 to 12 is not going to, do James Cook any justice. He needs anywhere between 15 to 18. They got their mark today. And then you see James Cook with the big chuck run towards the end to close the game out. So a good team win once again. Offensively, I was very impressed on how Ken Dorsey is able to find Stephon Diggs on third down. And it seemed like every third down, it was a Stephon Diggs signing out there. And, that's all Stephon Diggs wanted from the beginning, is to be involved in those clutch moments rather than allowing the defense to take them away and you have to go somewhere else with the ball. That should never happen. And Ken Dorsey's done an awesome job of doing that so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephon Diggs on the day had 8 catches, 111 yards. Didn't get in the end zone, but we only had the one touchdown pass, which was to Gabriel Davis for 34 yards. But ever since to 2020, where we played Tennessee, that was the first time guys were using that too high shell that teams seem to give Josh consistently now. The same remedy that they gave for Patrick Mahomes when he had Tyreek Hill, etc. So they're giving them the respect there. But as you mentioned, you see a lot more play action fake and a lot more play action fake coming from under center, which becomes a threat when you have a back that's averaging 6.5 yards per carry. I think it was for James Cook.
Yeah.
90. Yep, 6.5 yards a carry for James Cook. That the play action where you can come under center, you're in that 12 personnel, you got two tight ends on each side or on the same side, right? And the threat of giving it to a James Cook who's balling out, a Latavius Murray who's getting extra yards on every single attempt he gets with the rock. And Damian Harrison is looking good as well. It becomes more of a threat. So you have to respect that they might actually hand the ball off here, as opposed to just knowing that they're not going to give the hand the ball off. They're going to come back around on the other end and try to get an open tight end or whatever the case may be there. So that opened up the field a lot more, and it was really, really encouraging. Great offensive performance today. They put up 30 points, but defense put up some points too. Defense, pretty good game too, coach. Listen, Sam Howell, according to Next Gen Stats, was pressured on 69.2% of his dropbacks. That's the second most ever in the Next Gen Stats era. So, since they started counting this stuff, that's the second most pressure. That's the second highest pressure rate that has ever been put on a quarterback in an NFL game.
Interesting.
We talked about this defensive line missing Von Miller. You go get Leonard Floyd to kind of fill that void there, because after Von Miller left last season, we were dead in the water essentially. Leonard Floyd looks amazing. Ed Oliver looks amazing. Greg Rousseau looks amazing. AJ Epinesa today looked amazing. Got himself a nice interception for a pick six. Talk about this defensive line and how great they've played and what that can mean for us.
Well, I think that, man, we saw Coach McDermott in defensive coordinator mode today. Hopefully we need to see more of that. I think that, again, it really boils down to the continuity element that, we always touch on. This defense has pretty much been together, a well-oiled machine, all of those guys, just about for, 3 to 4 years for sure. And, the key element is that back end, that Tre'Davious White, that Poyer and Hyde situation, that those guys are your veteran guys to the point where basically you can trust those guys on the back end. So it gives you some some comfort back there to know that, hey, if I can do this 5 to 6 man pressure at times, because I have a secondary that I can trust and know they're going to be at the right spot. When a quarterback is pressured. And you saw that today. You saw Micah Hyde being where he needed to be when the quarterback was pressured. You saw Tre'Davious White be where he's supposed to be when the quarterback is pressured. You saw Jordan Poyer, making plays when the quarterback was pressured. And that's a test to, again, on some of the things that we talked about during training camp. I told you that this Bills defensive line is probably one of the best in the NFL. When you look at that rotation, it's going to be hard for teams to try to double what, because you have so many guys up front that you can keep fresh. And again, Von Miller didn't even play today, but look at the contributions from Ed Oliver, the contributions from Rousseau, the contributions from Jordan, the contributions from everybody up front just about got a sack or a pressure. And, that's what's going to carry this team through, on a week-to-week basis, this defensive front. Keep in mind, Poona Ford was inactive today. and the Bills were still able to, do what they did, from, an upfront standpoint. So again, pressure bust pipes. I'm very impressed on Coach McDermott not sitting back, letting, basically a rookie quarterback at this point just try to pick him apart. And instead of pressuring him to check his temper to see, how he would respond being pressured. So hopefully this can carry over. No, just stop just pressuring Howell. We know they got a big game next week versus Tua, and we know they have definitely gotten after Tua in the past. But nevertheless, this was a statement game for me. I think was a statement game for this defense the way they went out and played today.
Absolutely was a statement game from this defense by every stretch of the imagination possible. They're the first team since 1985 with 9 sacks and 4 interceptions in a game. Terrell Bernard had himself a magnificent day. He became the first player in the NFL since 2007, which was Brian Urlacher. So you're in rarefied air already as it is. 2 sacks, INT, and a fumble recovery on the day. Defensive player of the week for sure for Terrell Bernard. So with all the Tremaine Edmonds talking, I'm not going to be one who sits here and says, "Oh, Tremaine who?" I'm not doing that. But it was extremely encouraging to see your young linebacker have such a brilliant day. That has to be great for his confidence going forward.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, everybody had doubt with Terrell Bernard last year. They was wondering, like, oh, well, is this guy was going to be Tremaine Edmonds' replacement? And, they were just looking at the frame on how small he is and, thin he is, and didn't think that can this guy hold up in the middle, looking like an oversized safety. But, he proved that, not only today, but, he's been doing it since he's been, named the starter out there. And, again, it boils down to wearing that green dot and making those calls and getting people in the right position to make those plays. And that's definitely something that Coach McDermott is high on, a guy that he has to rely on making those calls. Very comfortable with Terrell Bernard out there. And hell, to all those doubters that didn't think that Terrell Bernard could replace Tremaine Edmonds, what do those doubters have to say now? Because he's been balling all week. Back-to-back interceptions, flying around out there today. The stat line was just ridiculous. We already know who the AFC Defensive Player of the Week is, if not the NFL Defensive Player of the Week. So, job well done for Terrell Bernard, and hopefully this is a boost for his confidence, especially going into next week.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be an ego boost for the young linebacker in his second season in the NFL. Who a lot of high hopes for Bills fans. With him coming out of college, you saw his tape is flying around the field. He looked really, really good. Very similar to how a lot of people looked at Dorian Williams coming out of college this year. Is kind of how the hype was for Terrell Bernard last year. And Terrell Bernard in the second year is doing the damn thing so far. So it's week 3. Cautiously optimistic, but he is absolutely flying around the field. He seems to be in the right spot in every single play. And, as, great people say, I forget who exactly said, I think it might have been Steve Kerr, but, they say good luck is residue of greatness, So, hey, the fortune was definitely in his favor today. You take a look at the secondary, who some people said, they were having a little bit of trouble. Christian Benford didn't have the greatest day in the world. However, Tre'Davious White got a pick. Micah Hyde got a pick. Who was the other one that got a pick? It was AJ Epinesa, Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White. Somebody else got a pick. All right.
4 picks out there.
Yeah, great day overall. It was Terrell Bernard, of course, right? So, linebacker, defensive lineman, and then your two captains of your defense, and Tre'Davious White and Micah Hyde getting an interception. That's huge for Micah Hyde, right? That's his first interception in the last 2 years. He missed basically all of last year with that neck injury. Getting that has to, feel good for the veteran, who a lot of people feel like this could be his last year with the team.
I don't think this is last year with the team. We'll just have to wait and see. It's way too early to even be just having that even discussion right now. Let's just bask in a moment of him, making plays. He talked it into existence for the past couple of weeks. He's been talking to the football before games, is really speaking into existence. And it finally came to him. It came to Tre'Davious. It was good to see those two guys in that secondary was able to make plays in a great time of need that, the Bills needed them to make those plays, especially for Tre'Davious White. It's his first pick in just about 2 years almost. So, this is definitely something that's going to be a great boost to his confidence going forward. We all know when Tre'Davious is at the top of his game, he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Let's not get that twisted. So it was good for him. You seen you just seen how he just baited Howell into making that throw. He stayed true to his alignment, which was having his deep third, and he did not waver. And he broke on the play in the end zone, and it was a big play for the Bills because Washington was in scoring position, and I'm not sure at that point it was still only like a 2-possession game. So that was a big play for Tre'Davious to go out there and make. And it's just good to see that those guys can make plays when needed out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming off of injuries for both of your veteran safeties, for Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, to have a game like this for your secondary definitely feels good. Helps you get back into the swing of things. And I was saying, earlier on Twitter, like you look at this defense, and all things considered, you could say whatever you want about the Raiders and the Commanders as it is. These are two NFL teams, all right. The Raiders have won games this year. The Commanders were 2-0 coming to this game. Sam Howell was having a pretty good season, to be honest. And, this defense was able to be so dominant that it was able to fluster a quarterback who has seen a Super Bowl, who's been a Super Bowl quarterback, almost won. And then, of course, Sam Howell is more of a younger guy, but, they believe in him wholeheartedly. And another guy who is an NFL quarterback still. It still feels valid to me to look at that and to say, okay, you allowed 13 points the last 2 weeks. And overall, like, you didn't allow too many points to the Jets either. They are clicking on all cylinders so far early this year. McDermott has blitzed a lot more than what we're expecting, than what we expected to see from him in the past. Is this now we talk about this every year. Late season, you get to the championship and you say, all right, conservative defense is cool, but you can never beat the best teams in the league sitting back and letting them kill you by 1,000 curve requests. You say that all the time, right? Is this particular version of the Buffalo Bills defense a defense that can win a Super Bowl?
Oh, without a doubt. You saw what's going on up front. I mean, you have guys out there with their multiple sacks. Daquan Jones 1.5, Ed Hour 1.5, Leonard Floyd 2 sacks. It was somebody else that had 2 sacks out there. Von Miller's not even out there right now. Von Miller is not even out there right now, and they were just flying to the ball. I liked how it was because the front four was able to create the pressure, and then Coach McDermott added some more pressure by sending 5 guys or sending a 6 guy. He mixed it up quite well throughout the entire ball game, and man, that's what I've been waiting to see out of this defense. Mix it up. Let's not sit back and watch these guys. I wish they would have mixed it up a little bit more on that Monday night game, and the Bills can easily be 3-0 in certain situations. Again, Coach McDermott is getting back to his defensive coordinator status, and he was definitely in his bag today. You saw a little bit more difference from Leslie Frazier's defense to Sean McDermott's defense because Coach is definitely going to dial those blitzes up. Again, he comes from that school of Jim Johnson where it's going to be a blitz from all over the place. You just have to figure it out. And if you guess wrong, it's going to be a turnover. And that's what you saw on display today. So hopefully the Bills could stay aggressively consistent. And if they are able to do that, hell yeah, this looked like a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about mixing it up a little bit. Well, jumping back to the other side of football, you had 8 different rushers for this team today and 9 different receivers. and Josh only threw for 218. So he was just spreading the ball all around. Obviously, Stephon Diggs had about half of that, or a little, he had about half of that. But, the other half of those receptions came from a variety of different areas. And it does look like this whole team has been clicking ever since that Monday game. And overall, even the Monday game, I mean, you take a look at everything outside of Josh, it wasn't necessarily bad. Josh just, was in the moment and made a few mistakes. He took a few chances. That was really the only reason we didn't blow up the Jets, really. So I do think this team is on the right foot. And hey, we got a tall task waiting for us next week as we take on the Miami Dolphins, who put up.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Ain't no tall task. Dolphins got a tall task. Huh? Just because they scored 70 points, I don't mean that the Bills got a tall task. They got a tall task. The Dolphins got a tall task. This Bills defense went out there, and I don't even know how many damn fantasy points they put up. But all right, we saw the best defense in the NFL today, and we saw the best offense this week. Something is definitely going to give, here at Highmark Stadium in week 4. And I think you got the other way around, because last time the Bills played the Dolphins, Tua was running for his damn life then. All right. And we didn't even have Leonard Floyd. All right. So Tua is going to be running for his life. It's going to be real interesting because guess what? They haven't sacked Tua 2 out of the 3 games. So he's comfortable. He's in his comfort zone right now. Not this week. He ain't going to be in that damn comfort zone this week. So if they want to think they can go mano on mano and think that Terron Armstead is going to be able to hold down Leonard Floyd one-on-one, be my goddamn guest. And you're going to get the same damn result, and Tua is going to be uncomfortable, and he's going to be throwing picks. Now, he is the most accurate, most efficient quarterback in the NFL. I give him that. He was like that coming out of college. But we just want to check his temperature. We just want to touch him. We just want to, make him uncomfortable, knock him off his spots, and see what we can get there. All right, now they do got some explosive weapons and all of that. Mostert is a beast too, but maybe Poona Ford suits up this week and have something to say about that run game. But it's going to be real interesting. It's definitely a must-win game for the Buffalo Bills because they cannot afford to be 0-2 in the division, expect that they're going to be in the driver's seat. All right, so this is definitely playoff implications, division title implications, very, very early in the season.
I will say I absolutely agree with you. When I say a tall task, I do agree that the Dolphins, obviously they have a lot to deal with on their hands.
Come on. They
got a defense that
they put up 70. I get it.
What I'm saying, they gotta go up against this defense. This defense obviously just put on 2 dominant performances in a row. So you're not dealing with the Broncos defense. That you know what I mean? Like I get all that. Sam Howell scored 35 on the Broncos defense last week. So you know what I mean? I got you. I'm just saying that this isn't the same Dolphins team that we're used to seeing where we don't believe in their quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. They look good. So it's going to be a very good game next week, division game. You got basically an unstoppable force who look like it's meeting an immovable object. We're going to see who, is, really about that right now because they both look great. They both look like 2 of the top 3 teams in the NFL right now. Would you say that's fair to say?
Oh, absolutely. Let's take no credit for Miami. They're definitely balling. They're definitely, they're the top offense in the NFL right now. We got to give them that. But until they play a top defense, then let's see where it lies. Let's see where they really are. We're talking about Denver for crying out loud. Really. We're really talking about that. Tua had all day to throw in the pocket. He is not going to be able to do that against this Buffalo Bills defense. You keep talking about a tall task. Let's just say the word tall because Greg Rousseau is pretty tall. Leonard Floyd is pretty tall. Jordan Phillips, pretty tall. AJ Espinoza, pretty damn tall. All right, so it's going to have an effect on Tua when those tall guys get after him with their hands up and he's forced to step up in the pocket. We already know. I'm telling you right now, Tua is scared of the Buffalo Bills. Let me just go out there and just say that. He see ghosts a little bit versus this Buffalo Bills defense. It was the Buffalo Bills defense that really got them into the concussion protocol last year. Just ask AJ Espinoza that. So they're going to be locked and loaded. They're not going to be, scared of Miami for sure. And this is definitely going to answer the question going all the way back to the playoff game when everybody thought that, oh, well, Tua healthy, the Dolphins could have won the playoff game. So we're going to get that question answered very early, week 4. Bills in Miami is definitely going to be the most talked about, anticipated game all week in the NFL. And yeah, I'm excited about that. And we're going to have a few more Believe in Bills podcasts leading up to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, we will. Miami showed Josh a lot of pressure last year. They blitzed him a lot. And, we'll see how Ken Dorsey looks to handle that. And
See, they
we'll
can't do
also
that now. They can't do that now because they have to respect this Bills ground game. And now Dorsey cannot go back to, what this Bills offense used to look like. You have to run the ball now. When you have success back-to-back weeks and you show complete dominance because you have a balanced offense and teams can't just sit up there and try to predict what you do offensively, you cannot go back from that. And that's going to pose a problem from this Dolphins team because this is a run attack that they have not seen out of this Buffalo Bills team. And I'm telling you now, James Cook, one-on-one with any one of those linebackers is a mismatch problem. And then we have reinforcements with Damian Harris and Latavius Murray, a much more better running back room than last year's room.
We'll see. We'll see if the run game. Last year they pressured Josh a lot. They blitzed him a lot. We'll see if a competent run game will be able to slow that down a little bit, make them respected, and see if we get some people open downfield over the middle, etc. And we'll also see how Tua deals with a Buffalo Bills defense that doesn't just rush forward every play. It's going to have to deal with some extra rushers coming and this new attitude defense that Sean McDermott has these guys playing. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens next week. But that's for next week. This week, the Buffalo Bills blow out the Washington Commanders in the nation's capital, which really looked like Orchard Park, to be honest. But it was a great game. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Great Bills win. Get to celebrate Victory Monday tomorrow. So make sure you repping the Bills. Shout out to 26 Shirts. Shout out to Bet Online. Shout out to BLEAV, WFO 96.5. Yeah, man. Coach, go ahead and take us out.
Bills on back of that Super Bowl contender train. Do you believe?
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.